I want to talk about the real side of trading that nobody talks about. The addiction, the chasing, the one more trade mentality, the identity crisis that comes with this game. After losing hundreds of thousands of dollars and finally being able to buy one of my dream cars, I finally realized something that I had never felt before. If you're a struggling trader, this might shift your entire perspective. There is something that a lot of traders go through that is referred to as the trader's addiction loop. Now you're probably asking yourself, what does this even mean? And it stems from a cycle that we get stuck in, okay? You buy a funded account, you try to pass it quickly, you over leverage, you blow that account, you buy another one, you do the same thing. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you do get lucky on this time and you end up passing your account. But because you had bad habits on the evaluation, you now go into the actual funded stage and you think that because you pass this funded account quickly, you can do the exact same thing on the funded account. And guess what happens? You blow that funded account. Now your anxiety is high. Okay, now you feel like you failed yourself. Now you feel like you need to get your revenge on that funded firm. Okay, whatever it may be, Top Step, Apex, Trade, whatever it is. Okay, so you buy another account and you repeat this process. And after a month, okay, you look at your bank account and all the money that you worked so hard to get from work is now completely gone. Okay, you feel frustrated. You feel like you want to quit. Okay, but now you say, this time is different. I'm gonna do something completely different. So you buy another funded account. Maybe you buy multiple because you think that copy trading is what's going to help you be a little bit more disciplined, because you say, oh, okay, if I have 5 accounts instead of just one, I'll finally feel like it means something. Okay, so you trade it. You respect yourself. You're good. Okay, you respect your trading plan. You have discipline. Now you're having consistent wins and you feel like you're on top of the world. You have this emotional high because now you're winning. Now you finally pass all 5 expresses or all 5 funded accounts and you finally get to that funded stage again. But guess what? You blow it on day 1. Now you want to jump off of a cliff. You feel like everything that you've worked towards is now coming to an end. You're like, is trading even for me? You start doubting yourself. You start doubting your abilities, okay? And you get stuck in this cycle and it keeps going over and over and over again. And you're asking yourself, when am I finally going to respect myself? When am I finally going to respect my rules? When am I finally going to become a consistently profitable trader? And it's an ongoing battle between you and yourself, you and your mind, okay? And you know that you can do it. You can become a consistently profitable trader if you just learn to control yourself. Every time you have a losing day, the rest of your day seems to be horrible. But every time you have a winning day, your day seems to go great. You have a great attitude. Everybody seems to be pleasant around you, okay? Every time you make a bad decision, you try to fix it by making more decisions that end up turning you into making more bad decisions. So you start revenge trading. Every time you miss out on a trade that you knew you should have been inside of, that you knew you should have taken, you start chasing and you start taking trades that you know you shouldn't be taking. Okay? These are all things that every single trader struggles with. But the first step in resolving this issue, the first step in getting out of this addiction loop, this addiction cycle, is by first detaching yourself from your trading, detaching your identity from the result, from the outcome. The first step is to first become the individual who actually is deserving of these outcomes. And where does this all start? It starts in your head. It starts in your mind. It all starts with the simple thought of, okay, rather than thinking of, I need to pass this funded account, I need to get a payout, this one payout is going to change my life, all I need is just one payout and then all of a sudden I'm good. This mindset is flawed. This mindset is what's keeping you where you currently are, not making money in trading. And it was something that I struggled with for years. Most traders aren't addicted to trading. They're addicted to avoiding who they are outside of the charts. Okay? Your life may not be where you want to be. You're probably not where you want to be in life. Your family doesn't believe in you. Every time somebody asks you about trading, it always seems like they're talking from a perspective of negativity. Maybe you even doubt yourself. You're working a job you hate. You're not driving a car that you want to drive. You're not able to travel whenever you want. You're struggling to pay your bills. Your parents are struggling to pay their bills. Whatever your situation may be, okay, you're trying to run away from your problems and you're going into trading thinking that it's going to solve your issues. And I can tell you that it's not going to solve your issues. You need to solve your issues. You need to overcome who you are as a person. Your identity needs to be separated from the charts. You can't tie your identity to your P&L. You cannot tie your identity to who you are as a trader. Because who you are as a trader is a reflection of who you are in your regular life. Who are you? Who am I? You have to answer that question for yourself. And it took me a long time to figure out who I was, because for the longest period of time, I was living a lie to myself. I thought I was supposed to be an engineer. I thought I was supposed to go to college. I thought that the only path to success was following what my parents had told me, but that's completely false. My entire life, I was told that I needed to become an engineer because that's exactly what my parents wanted me to do. That's exactly what all of my extended family wanted me to do. So in pursuit of who I thought I was based off of what I was told or what was said to me of who I was, I started doing things in that direction. I got good grades in school. I graduated at the top of my class. I got accepted into my dream college or whatever. Okay, I got accepted into the University of Georgia. I did all of these things because that is what I was told to do, because that is who I thought I was. And in turn, it made me feel empty inside. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to be an engineer. I didn't want to live a normal life. I wanted to live life on my own terms, okay? I didn't want to graduate from high school, go to college, get a degree, get a job, be stuck in the workforce, get 2 weeks of vacation, not be able to travel, not be able to afford certain things, have to look at price tags all the time. That's not what I wanted out of my life. Okay, and it wasn't until I made the decision to finally say, I'm going all in trading, okay, that my life started to change. Now, it didn't change immediately because I struggled. I struggled a lot, okay? I struggled so much to the point where there would be days where I'm bawling out crying. I'm tearing up. There are days where my parents are almost kicking me out of the house because my parents came. You know, I'm Middle Eastern. I grew up in a Middle Eastern household. My dad came from Egypt at the age of 18 with $50 to his name. And he came to start a life, a new journey, to be able to give me, his eldest son, and my younger brother, a life that he never had growing up. So for me to tell him that I'm not going to do what he wants me to do is like a slap in his face. It was completely disrespectful. At least he viewed it like that. But my entire intention behind the reason why I didn't want to live an average life is because I didn't want my parents to work until they die. I want to be able to give back to my parents, but that wasn't going to happen if I went down the normal route that everybody goes. And it took a long time for my parents to realize that. Eventually we came to an agreement. However, my parents finally decided that they weren't going to financially support me anymore. Okay, when I dropped out of school, I dropped out of college at the age of 18. And at that point, okay, or at the age of 19, whatever it was, at that point I had to, reality hit me. I had to go get a job. And I finally, after hundreds of applications, I finally got a job as a server. Now, I didn't like working as a server, okay? I was making no money. There'd be days where I would work my ass off, 8-hour shift, make less than $10, Okay, I couldn't put gas in my car. I couldn't afford the basic necessities that I need. All my money was going into trading. Every penny that I received from every single paycheck, I was dumping it back into trading, buying funded accounts. I even ran up credit cards. I put myself in so much debt, tens of thousands of dollars of debt, so much debt. I think I spent over $60,000 on funded accounts through Forex prop firms at the age of 19. All on credit cards, taking out loans. It was a horrendous cycle that I had put myself in, going back to that addiction loop. I was stuck in that cycle. And it hurt because it felt like everything that I was doing, I kept setting myself back. And why? Because I was rushing. Right now, with where you are right now, you're not happy with where you are. We already talked about this, but I wasn't happy with where I was. So I thought that by trying to accelerate the process quicker, instead of buying one funded account, I'm going to buy 10. Instead of buying a $50,000 account, I'm going to buy a $250,000 account. I thought that that would get me the result faster. But why was I trying to skip steps? I wasn't consistent on a $20,000 funded account. So why did I need to go to a $400,000 funded account? I couldn't secure a payout from one funded account. So why did I need to buy 10 and copy trade them all together? I was skipping steps because I was trying to get to where I wanted to be faster. And in turn, it took me way more time to actually get to where I wanted to be in my life. So finally came the point where I actually started making money. Okay, I hit my first $10,000 month. I hit my first $20,000 month. I hit my first $40,000 month. But I still felt empty inside because I thought that in order to get to where I want to be, I need to make $100,000 a month. Finally, once I can start making $100,000 per month, I can start helping my parents out. I can start giving back to the people in my life. But who told me that? That was simply a limitation that I set on myself. Who told me that I couldn't help my parents when I was making $10,000 per month? Even me just giving $500 to my dad when I was making $10,000 per month would have been a great help. Even if I were able to give them a couple $1,000s per month when I was making $20,000, $30,000 per month would have been a great help. But because I had set this limitation thinking that I can't help them until I'm making X amount per month, I kept chasing more. There'd be days where I would lose $50,000 in a live account, feel nothing. There'd be days where I'd make $20,000 in a live account and I'd feel nothing. And it was always because I wanted more. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting more, but you have to understand where you currently are. And I lost sight of how far I had come because less than 2 years prior to those times, I was working as a server making less than $2,000 per month. And now I'm consistently pulling in $10, $20, $30, $40,000 per month, but I'm not keeping any of this money because I want more and I'm chasing more. And like I said before, I was rushing. Okay, I was rushing and I kept trying to chase more money. For what? Why did I want money? Was it to show off? If it was truly to help my parents, if it was truly to help those people in my life, then I wouldn't have, I could have been doing those things. Okay, so it was really more so egotistically driven, but I failed to realize this. And it drained me. It absolutely drained everything from me. It led me into extremely dark places that I should not have been in. And I continued to self-sabotage, continued to set myself back because of these mistakes. The moment that absolutely everything started to click is when I realized that chasing more money wasn't going to fix my habits. The only way that I was actually going to sustainably make the amount of money that I wanted to make wasn't by chasing, but was by actually becoming the individual who was capable of making X amount of money. Payouts weren't gonna make me more disciplined. Buying more funded accounts weren't gonna make me more disciplined. Increasing the size of my live account wasn't going to make me more disciplined. The moment I stopped trying to chase payouts and started focusing on who I was becoming as a person is when everything absolutely changed. My habits started getting better. I noticed that when my diet was off track, when I wasn't getting good sleep, when I was always in a negative state of mind, when I wasn't grateful for what I had, My trading wasn't good. I was blowing accounts left and right. I kept chasing. I was stuck in the moment. There would be days where I would literally blow tens of thousands of dollars and feel nothing, absolutely nothing, until after the fact. And I'd get so hard on myself. And because I just lost this money, I continued to chase. I would try to chase those losses back, and I would lose even more money and lose even more money. There was a month where I lost over $100,000 in a live account simply because I kept chasing back my losses, forgetting the fact that I've spent 5 years developing the skill of trading and I can make that money back. But no, I needed to make it now. I needed to prove to myself and prove to others that I'm actually a real trader. This mindset kept destroying me time after time after time again. It's as if I lost the value of money. Like, people work, I failed to realize that people work an entire year, 40 hours per week, 160 hours per month to make less than 6 figures a year. They barely even touch $100,000. Like, that to me blows my mind. And for me to blow that amount of money in such a short amount of time tells me that I just didn't respect money. I didn't respect where I came from. I didn't respect the struggles that I went through. And it was as if I was just slapping myself in the face, shooting myself in the foot. And you may not be going through this to the extreme that I'm speaking about, but it could be related to what you're currently going through in your life. You work 40 plus hours a week, yet you can't have, and you take that money and you buy evals and you buy fund accounts, yet you can't have something as small as discipline to respect your rules and not over leverage, knowing the outcome. You know that every time you over leverage, you're gonna blow your funded account. You know that every time you over leverage, it's going to lead you to revenge trading because you're not okay with that loss. Yet you still repeatedly do it. Yet I was still repeatedly doing it. And I would do it over and over and over again, expecting some sort of different outcome. That is the literal definition of insanity. I was insane, thinking that by doing the same exact thing over and over again, knowing the outcome, I was gonna get a different outcome. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Yet I was stuck in that same cycle. I had to start incorporating habits, and these habits are boring. No one wants to journal. I had to start incorporating journaling. I had to start being aware of my thoughts. I had to start sitting down with myself and taking inventory of absolutely everything that I was doing in my life. Okay, I had to start auditing absolutely everything I was doing in my life. Okay, how was my life outside of the charts? Even something as simple as going to church on Sunday and giving thanks to God, waking up in the morning and saying prayer. These small habits add up. Greatness is the small things done right. Greatness is when you add up 1% better every single day. That is how you're going to get to your goals. And all of this sounds cliche. It sounds so simple. Yet it makes such a big difference in your trading because you start to detach yourself from the outcome and you start focusing on the process. You finally start detaching yourself. You finally start detaching from the outcome of trading. Your identity is no longer tied to the results. Okay. Your identity becomes who you are as an individual. Okay. You're the person now that wakes up early every single day. You're the person now that prays multiple times a day. You're the person now that is disciplined no matter how he feels. Okay. And as a result of you becoming that individual, the outcome of you becoming a profitable trader is inevitable because it just flows. It just happens. You don't have to think twice. You start entering into a flow state. You don't have to consciously make decisions anymore because your subconscious is on autopilot and you just are that individual. You just are a profitable trader. You just are a successful person. You just are in shape. You just are healthy. Like, you just are, and then put anything else that you've been working towards, but that doesn't come unless you change your habits. That doesn't come unless you change your identity, what your identity is tied towards. It doesn't happen unless you remove the limitations that you've set upon yourself. Some of the habits that I incorporated outside of journaling, I have them written down right here, were self-awareness, risk control, trading less. This is a big one. Trading less. Less is more in trading. A lot of us think that we need to put more effort into our trading in order to get to where we want to be. And that is the complete opposite. Unlike other avenues of making money, more effort does not result in more of an outcome or a better result in trading. Less is more. You need to be waiting for the highest probability setups. If you take a loss, it's okay. Walk away, it's okay. There's another trading day. You don't have to make back your money today. And that is something that I struggled with for so long. You don't have to make back your loss today, okay? And if you try to force a trade, you're gonna end up losing. You know the outcome, you already know you're gonna lose, so why are you doing it? You don't need to make back your money today. There's gonna be another trading day. There's gonna be another setup. Just wait for it. Just walk away. Learn to walk away. I promise you, you're not gonna get hurt. Okay? It's okay to take losses. Everyone takes losses. And if anybody tells you that they don't take losses, they are lying to your face. They're lying to you. They're straight up telling you the wrong thing. Okay? It's a game of probabilities. So learning to walk away, trading less. These are all habits that I started incorporating that really helped me get to where I am today. Following a trading plan. This is big. Have your rules written down in front of you before you even open up your chart. Say, I'm going to risk X amount. I'm trading X time. I'm trading whatever your rules are. Have them written down in front of you and read them out loud before you enter into a trade. And think, before you enter into a trade, are you following your trading plan? If the answer is no, then don't take the trade. It's as simple as that. Another habit is obviously learning time and price, understanding the correlation between the two, perfecting your trading strategy, whatever it may be. And then lastly, removing your ego. Removing your ego. You don't know what you don't know. You can learn more. You can always learn more. You can always become better. You don't have to fight back at the markets. Like, if someone with more experience is telling you to do something and you see the life that they're living, it's okay to take advice from them. Okay, it's okay. You remove your ego. Okay, be humble. You don't need to show, you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to show anything off. Okay, get off of social media entirely. Social media is ruining your trading. It is absolutely ruining your trading. Every time you open social media, you're seeing all of these fake wins. Who's to tell you that these people are actually getting payouts? Okay, they're posting 5K win, 5K win. How much money have they spent on evals? How many accounts have they blown? Okay, like, are they actually showing proof of income coming in? Probably not. Okay, so stop comparing yourself to them. Focus on your own journey. Stop comparing yourself to other people. It's going to absolutely ruin you. You're never going to get to where you want to be if you're so focused on what Timmy's doing, on what Sally's doing, on what Sarah's doing. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on what I'm doing. Like you need to focus on what, me, what am I doing? Okay? Who cares about everybody else? Where you are currently right now is a result of your decisions that you made in your life. And I promise you, you will get to where you want to be. Okay? But you have to just take your time and it will come to you. It will come in due time. Success isn't what you think it is. You're going to get to a point where you're making tens of thousands of dollars a month. I'm at the point now where I'm making 6 figures a month. Okay? It doesn't change. Nothing, I don't feel any different. I really don't. There's days where I would make shit tons of money and I would lose a lot of money. Okay, I could lose $50,000 in a day and I would literally feel no emotions. Okay, your problems will never go away. Nothing goes away. Nothing goes away. People think that money is going to solve their issues. Now, it can solve some issues, but it's not going to solve your personal issues in your own life. You have to be the one to fix those issues. Okay, so no matter how much money you have, everyone still goes through problems. Your problems are just exacerbated. They just become bigger. Your problems just become bigger as you start making more money. More money, more problems. That's a saying that people say all the time. Okay, your problems will never go away. Going back to me losing a lot of money, I was at the point where I would lose $20,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in a day. I even lost $1 million in a day on Apex. Okay, but when I'm referring to these large losses, I'm talking about in live accounts. I would blow like $40,000 live accounts, $60,000 live accounts, chasing more money, thinking that I need a big win to satisfy myself. Okay, and I lost the sense of the reality of money. Okay, because it was just numbers on a screen at that point. I never bought anything. I just kept throwing it back into trading. Yeah, I would buy small things here and there, purses, bags, watches, whatever, small things here and there. But I never had anything tangible. So I never felt the true value of what money can buy you. Yes, I was traveling. Yes, I was paying bills, but I had nothing physical. And it wasn't until I sat in this car, sat in this M4 competition, okay? 2026, just bought it now, okay? It wasn't until I sat in this car that I finally realized the value of the money that I have in my hand. That I could buy something physical from the hard work that I've been working towards for the past 5 years of my life. It wasn't until I actually bought this vehicle that I was like, wow, money is more than just a number on a screen. It can allow you to have these things, but you're never going to get to the point where you can have these things unless you become the individual who is deserving of these things. The individual who attracts things in his life. And it all, again, starts going back to your habits. And I will repeatedly say this. It all starts with your habit. This car to me is more than just a car. Okay, it's not to flex. I didn't buy it to show off. Like, I still want another car. I still want to get more, whatever, right? But what this car represents to me is the years of struggling that I went through. The years of blowing countless funded accounts, the years of self-sabotage, the times in which I was panicking, having anxiety attacks, running around, literally getting 10,000 steps in a matter of time in my bedroom because of the amount of mental trauma that I was putting myself through. The amount of times that I wanted to quit, the amount of times that I would get in arguments with my parents, the amount of times where I would bawl my eyes out crying, asking God, why me? Why me? Why am I going through this right now? And it wasn't until I bought this car that I realized that everything that I went through was worth it. The doubt, the hate, the trauma, the struggle, the losses, the lawsuits, everything that I went through in my life was worth it. And everything that God put me through was to prepare me for this day, was to prepare me for what's to come, was to prepare me for when I have a future family that I need to support, was to prepare me for the responsibility that I've been given to help hundreds and hundreds of individuals change their lives. I wouldn't be able to mentor my students the way that I do had I not been through all of that struggle and all of that pain. And I am so grateful and I am so thankful that God put me through those tough times, because I would not be here standing today. And not only am I thankful for God for putting me through those tough times, but I am thankful for myself for persevering through God's help, through his strength that he gave me, for persevering through those. I could have quit. There were times where I could have quit. I could have said, nope, I'm going back to school. I'll be a doctor. I'll be an engineer, whatever. I'll do it. There were times where I could have done that, but no, because I cut all bridges, because I burned everything. I removed any plan B. I am where I am today. And I'm so thankful that I pushed through. And you have to have unwavering self-belief that you will become the individual that you know you can become, right? And again, I had the mindset that I didn't care how long it took. Yes, I told my dad 4 years, but I don't care how long it takes. I will become successful as long as I stick to it. And that is why I got this tattoo on me, okay? It says submission of time. No matter how long it takes, as long as you stick to it, you will become successful. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It will happen for you, okay? Again, it could take you 4 years, it could take you 10 years, or it could take you 4 months. I don't know. Everybody's journey is completely different. That's why when someone comes to me and they've been trading for 6 months and they're like, well, this doesn't work out. Well, did you really want it in the first place? Why did you start? It all comes down to your purpose. Why did you start trading in the first place? Obviously, everybody trades to start making money, whatever. But why did you start in the first place? What was the reason behind you starting to trade? Okay? Because if you actually wanted to trade, if you truly cared about changing your life, then you would do anything that it takes. And that goes with anything. Okay? You say you want X result, yet your habits aren't a reflection of X result. So you're not going to get that result. It's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be difficult. Success does not have to be difficult. If I could give any piece of advice to any struggling trader right now, is that trading isn't working not because trading doesn't work. It's because you haven't fixed yourself. You need to, again, I will say this, trading is all about who you are as a person. Fix you and trading will work out for you. Your goal is not to trade every single day. Your goal is to become someone who is consistent, both on the charts and off the charts. The moment you realize this is the moment that you will start to see the results that you are seeking. I've been talking for a long time now, okay? I want to close this video by saying that trading will absolutely change your life. It's changed my life. It's changed the lives of all of my students. It's changed the lives of my closest friends who also trade as well. But before you can get to the point where trading will absolutely change your life, it will absolutely ruin you, okay? And you have to be able to go through that pain in order to get to where you want to be. And most people aren't cut out for it. I'll be completely honest. I firmly believe that anyone can become a consistently profitable trader in due time. But most people just aren't capable of going through the tough times. They would rather take the easy way out, right? They would rather take the easy way out, which leads them to a life of struggle. And that is the harsh reality of things. So although trading absolutely broke me, it rebuilt me into the individual who I am today. I would not be who I am today had I not started trading in the first place. If you're currently a struggling trader, you are in the most important phase of your life. Do not rush it. Take your time. I promise you, you will become a profitable trader. You will become successful. It will happen. It's inevitable if you stick to it. But in order to actually start getting to the point where you're making money, you need to identify exactly what you're doing that's wrong and slowly start fixing these habits. You're not going to make a change overnight. You're just not going to become, profitability isn't like this. It's not an overnight switch. It's an ongoing decision that you have to make every single day, right? It's an ongoing decision to make the right decisions every day, to develop the right habits. And it's not until you get to that point that you're finally going to become a consistently profitable trader. Don't rush the process. Don't run away from it. This is exactly where you're getting forged, okay? This isn't the end of your journey. This is the beginning of your transformation. That is going to be a conclusion to this video. I appreciate you for watching. If this video helped you in any way, leave a comment down below. I want to see what you're struggling with. I would love to help you. Leave a like, subscribe, and watch any of these videos. It will definitely help you get to where you want to be. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.